That's right.
Alright.
Harder for me to pronounce.
Save those muscles.
Those quads. Let's start the public portion meeting.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Household. This is like beefy. Our tonight packet is beefy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will accept the CSE, CPSE, and then we'll talk about it. Is there a motion to, thanks Ray, is there a second? Thanks Brent, all those in favor? Any opposed? So, I didn't notice there were blue staples until now, Karen, that's really cool. They've always been blue. Really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so crazy.
Oh, I guess I don't pay attention, sorry.
Fancy.
That was intentional.
They are not.
Well, they
are
aren't
any of the others.
So they must be out of the special ed office,
It's
like
all-
Amanda.
Yeah.
I noticed nothing.
That's just my eyes, I'm good with it.
Was that?
That's just my eyes, I'm good with it.
You're welcome.
All right,
I'm
minutes.
so happy about that.
Can we do all the minutes together? We can, right?
You need to separate.
They need to separate, okay. Regular meeting, April 20th. I didn't have anything.
I'll make a motion to accept. I will
Thanks.
second.
Thanks. All those in favor? Aye. Abstain. Budget hearing 5-9. Thanks to Ray and Nate for representing. Is there a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion on it as well.
Thanks, Nate. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Ray. All those in favor? Abstain? Yeah, one more. And then the budget vote is in nights. Congrats. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the budget? So, thanks. Oh, is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Josh. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Excellent. Okay.
Did anybody see the article, gosh, was it in the board newspaper, talking about the poor turnouts for school budget votes? Highest in the state was something like 18%. And the lowest was next door to us, but we're in the same ballpark, at around 10. They're saying apparently 10 seems to be the average turnout, 10%. We,
I try to be more of a draw.
I don't know.
Start having food.
It doesn't stop the complaining.
I know. Yeah.
Treasurer's reports as of April 30th. there a motion to approve those? Yes, so moved. Okay, so, is there a second, Kate? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? And then we have appropriation transfers. Is there a motion to approve the appropriation transfers?
I mean,
Thanks, Ray. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Nate. All those in favor? Okay. Any opposed? Right, on to the warrants. On page 5, I had a question about the Lord's athletics. Do we have a new person? Because we were personless for a while, right?
We're still personless. They just actually interviewed today, for a second person, and they're, I believe, offering it to that person. I don't know that for sure.
Sure.
So
So we
there's
still
two
have to
are
pay them?
possibilities.
Even if we're personless?
No,
We have the strength trainer,
Okay,
so they bill us half, for the rest of the year.
got it.
It's been awesome.
On page 10, there's landing electric. I just wanted to confirm whether that's part of the 100K or is that, no, okay. You have a couple questions, any questions on that one?
no, I flagged a couple of things. On page 12, the Renovus Energy, that's our regular payment to Renovus.
I wish I could. But I'm assuming it's over there. I honestly would have to go back and check. Right, I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's the only thing I could think of that we'd be paying them for now.
Yeah, there's a periodic check for
Yeah,
paying for.
Yeah, they're periodic ones. I don't know if this is more or not. I know they did have someone come down and checking on it. I don't know if that was included in the fees were already paid. I'd have to check. Yeah, really, I just,
it's two identical charges, which would kind of imply that it's part of our contract for their installation of the solar field.
We can look at that.
yeah, I just want to confirm before I give you an answer.
Yeah,
Because I'm not
okay.
100% sure.
Appreciate that.
Confirm and then get back to you.
Okay, moving on to the lunch fund, F13.
I saw the ESER and thought it said espresso, so I don't know if that would be a good idea.
And then C11, school lunch fund. There we go. And then capital fund, number 10. What does Avalon do?
Yeah.
The company
They're the
did
companies
something.
that printed all of the,
Plan sets?
no,
No.
the newsletter or
The newsletter, the flyers,
signs.
the signs that we put out, all of that.
Got it.
Yep, so we're starting to see, we'll see some of those charges as we get them for ballots and different things.
Got it. Is there a motion to approve all the warrants? Thanks, Brent. Is there a second? Thanks, Kate. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We are visitor list tonight, so, I know. Oh, goodness. Just checking. Jess is on a pretty awesome trip, so she's got a really good excuse. Under the consent agenda, and there are a couple of changes. So 10.6 is being punted next, tabled, however you want. I'm sure none of those are the official board terms, sorry.
But we all understood.
Yeah.
And then
It's in the news section.
10.9, are there sub numbers to that? Oh, there are.
10.9,
A,
And B as well,
I don't know, the B as well.
boys and girls, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
okay.
I thought the boys were okay and the girls were had to pull out, yes?
But we
We
When
weren't
we
sure yet.
decided it together because of transportation and all that, like it's easier to combine them, do
So
whatever we're gonna do
We'll
for.
pull them both
Okay,
out.
so we'll
right?
pull A and
We're
B.
doing the pause on.
10, 9, A and B are pulled.
Okay, yep.
Okay, so with that edit, are there any items on the consent agenda that should be pulled out for separate consideration? Barring that, are there questions on items?
Under resignations, B, have we started looking already for a new teacher, a new Spanish teacher?
Yes, looking, yeah.
Okay, because they're about as rare
They're
as
hard to
NST.
find. Yeah, so that kind of goes into the scheduling thing that I was talking about. in the
Yeah.
other, So that's why it's not posted yet.
Yeah, okay.
Does she, do we have other Spanish teachers?
We have two.
Tracy,
We have Tracy.
Brady.
Okay,
So we have two
who
full-time.
replaced? So one of those was replacement for Ben.
Right.
Okay, great. So we
So we have
lost
two
one,
full-time.
now we're losing another.
It wasn't a replacement for them. Neither, they were, we
Well,
had
because Ben
three.
was.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Ben was only 0.2.
Right.
Got it,
Right.
copy that.
So you have a tenure appointment?
We do.
Yes, congratulations. Assuming it comes out through the vote. Okay.
That's what I'm waiting
We can leave that.
Let's pull that one too.
You want to talk about this in executive session?
Thanks, Josh. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Nate. All those in favor? Aye.
Right.
Any opposed? Okay, now congrats, Keith.
Yeah, you're in.
We'll keep them.
Cat has spoken, that means it's law.
All right, so on to reports. Mr. Wayne is not here, but we have his written report. So now we're Keith.
So the first piece there is the attendance piece, and I reported on our initiatives a couple of months ago with the concern of our lower attendance rate in the last few months. We formulated an attendance committee and put forth some initiatives in the building. And as you can see in the data there, the first 3 months of the initiative, it is paying off, which is great to see. The kids are pretty motivated to attend school because of the winner gets either an ice cream party or some sort of special prize party. You can see there the last 3 winners, what their percentage rates were as a grade level. So it's pretty exciting to see the fruits of our labor pay off. The attendance committees worked very hard with a lot of initiatives. And one of the things that has had a great impact on 5th and 6th attendance is every morning that the students aren't in school by 10 o'clock, we do something similar to the high school. We send a text message to the parents, just notifying, say, hey, you have an unexcused absence, just so you guys are aware. That kind of holds parents accountable too, and letting them know we're keeping an eye on attendance. And we're seeing some better attendance in 5th and 6th grade. And that's a pilot this year for the 5th and 6th grade. We were hesitant to go down to lower grades just to kind of feel it out, to see how it goes in upper grades. So we're going to talk about that and see if we want to go forward building wide with that next year. But I'll talk to the committee about that and we'll make a decision. The pre-K enrollment, we had pre-K and kindergarten registration these past 2 weeks, and I'm happy to say we do have a wait list. And these numbers have grown since I wrote the report to 2 more. We got 2 more calls for pre-K today, and we're excited about that. And it was nice to get these new families, new students in. I was telling Jackie the other day that this is one of my most favorite part of the job, is seeing the new kids come through, being able to talk to the families about our school. And it's great to hear a lot of their own stories of their connections to Candor, and their experiences with Candor have all been positive. So it's reaffirming to hear that too. So yeah, we have, we typically see those numbers stay pretty steady. So we're looking to have a wait list going into the school year next year of about 4 kids at this point.
So question on the wait list, if high needs or higher needs kids comes out of the woodwork for pre-K, do they get a slot and somebody else gets bumped, or is it strictly order of application?
Yeah, at this point, it's first come, first served, and it's written that way in our grant. And I mean, we would probably have a strong consideration if we do have a high need student come in. That's something Kim and I and Brent would have to have a conversation about, because we certainly, if a student has those needs that we could fulfill here, and they aren't getting them elsewhere, I think it's a conversation that we need to have.
It's also, I think, dependent upon how we wrote the grant. There are 2 different models, because like some districts do like a lottery system, and there's a weighting, if I remember correctly. I don't remember all of the details, but we went with just the first come, first served.
Got it.
And then the class of 2023 has been gracious enough with their time. You can see there, they're doing a lot for our building in the month of June, and specifically with our kindergartners, they're coming to read to them, and they're purchasing a book for the kids. And that went over really well last year, and we're doing it again this year. And then something we've been doing the past couple of years, they are doing a graduation walk with a cap and gown through our building on June 1st. And we'll get the kids out in the hallways and see them play the graduation song, and they'll walk through the hallways, slap high fives and things like that. It's motivating to our kids, and they enjoy seeing that. We have several events happening in the month of June. We have 5th and 6th grade concert. We have an art show that we're starting again. During COVID, we stopped the art show, but now we're going to initiate it again on the same night as the 5th and 6th grade band concert. And that's on the 8th. Pre-K and 6th grade graduation are both on the 16th. Pre-K is in the afternoon, 6th grade is in the morning. And then the much anticipated field day is happening on the 20th. And I want to thank PTSA for covering a cost of everything on field day. They paid for 4 bouncy houses, an ice machine, an icy maker machine. And it's really been a pleasure to work with Jessica and PTSA. They haven't turned down a request at all that I've asked for, or that one of our teachers has asked for. So it's really benefited our students, and all students centered. As we know, they're flexible with their finances, a little bit more than I can with ours. But they're a great tool to have. And I want to thank them, and I wish Jessica was here to do that. Lastly, I want to thank Nate and his colleagues for coming out. We had last Friday, a group of employees from Lockheed Martin come out and do a STEM day for our 4th through 6th grade students. And it was really exciting to see the 4th through 6th grade filtering through those activities. And I'm working now with Joe on making that something that we do every trimester next year. And then our hope is to trickle it down to the lower grades at some point next year. But we want to start right out the gate in October, November next year to start the offerings, something similar to what we did last Friday. And then Matt was gracious enough to work with BOCES and offer a STEM day for pre-K to 3rd grade that same day. So they're playing with robotics and a lot of fun activities with the lower kids. It was great to see the kids with hands-on experiences like that. So Nate, thank you and your colleagues for doing that. And thank you for coming and supporting that day too. That is all I have. Is there any questions if you have them?
What was the genesis of the alphabet days, heading just to try to get kids to the end of the year?
Yeah, trying to boost morale, make it fun, and just kind of keep the kids guessing a little bit. That was Katie Spatola's idea. And we have a lot of kids that are excited about it, especially flip-flop days, because we normally don't allow flip-flops. So the kids are excited about random things like that, and I want to keep that excitement going into the summer, keep morale high and boost the kids. That's one of the attendance pieces too, to get them motivated to come to school. This is something that we kind of motivate the kids.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
big deal
awesome.
in our house,
Yeah.
very big deal. So it's working.
Yeah.
Exactly, no, it's
too.
just interminable at the end of the year, so.
And it's stuff that we have, like that everyone has in their home, so we can like,
That was our goal, to
Function.
not have to go out and buy something.
right,
We want to make it
yeah,
accessible.
no,
for
it's
families.
great.
Thumbs up, for sure.
Thank you.
Mr. Matt?
So start off with computer-based testing. We finished out ELA and math CBT last week, the week before, and it was mostly smooth. There was one day in the junior high that started off a little bit rocky. I think the Amazon web servers went down for accommodations, and it was spotty throughout the state. So I was running around here trying to figure out what was going on, and I kept saying to the teachers, "It's not our fault. It's not our fault." And it turned out it wasn't. So I was not lying. But it was just a few students that had issues, and we were able to make that up that next Wednesday or that Wednesday. So they didn't lose too much instructional time. A few students did lose a little bit of instructional time because of that. But the state blamed it on Questar, and Questar blamed it on Amazon. So everybody was passing the buck. But that's the nature of technology. We are also the state is asking us to do some field testing. So 6th grade is going to be doing some ELA field tests, which are essentially sample questions that they'll be potentially using in future exams. They ask schools to, is ask the right way? Did I say it? No. They're being kind. They are having us have the 6th graders and 8th graders do ELA. It's about 45 minutes of another CBT on top of what they've already done. And then I believe the 11th graders are also doing field testing for the English regions.
And that's like if they pick and choose districts around the state.
Yeah, it seems like we always get picked, but.
If you weren't
yeah.
so on the ball with the tech, they
I
might not.
I think that they would be doing it on paper instead, so we would be doing it one way or another. And then students will be doing the science tests as well, coming towards the end of the year. So quite a bit of assessments, but we will use those assessments when we get the results in August or September. I do want to thank Eva Collier for working with Wayne and Pete and myself to make testing go as smoothly as it did. We kind of tag teamed it, and she took the elementary school, I took the junior high. We both helped each other when we were free, and it worked out really well. We divided and conquered. So went really smoothly. The next piece is the software review, and if you flip your page over, there's just a couple things I want to point out. Google, it continues to grow, 50,000 searches as opposed to 35,000. That's in a month. And then the other one that I think is very notable is the fourth one down, first in math. And who's the main person that, I mean, you have been pushing that, but
Mariah, yep.
So Mariah Young has done a great job encouraging students in grade levels to do first in math, and it shows. I mean, they're doing a lot of first in math activities.
They're just finding their way there. They're not assigning.
Oh, I think they take
portion
time.
on it? Okay.
Yeah, I think they do both. I think they take the time to do it, and then when students have a choice, they choose to do that. Because it's fun. They get credit, they get coins, they get, they have a little leaderboard out in the hallway on one of the bulletin boards. So each grade level has their little car that's moving along the track. So it's been, I think the program works well, and the teachers are promoting it, and I think the kids are enjoying the activities. So, but most of the things that we're using, we continue to be either using them the same amount or more. And I just want to always kind of re-evaluate this time of year as we're looking to next year and what we're purchasing, things that we may or may not want to get rid of, based on how much they can use. So I'm trying to be conscious of that. And then just want to thank Brandon Whitmarsh for working. He's doing his internship. He's in a TST program for computer science, and he came in and was working with us 3 days to work with me 3 mornings a week for 3 weeks. And we did a little bit of everything. We toured the network closet. We provisioned devices. We decommissioned devices. He worked last week on STEM day in one of the classrooms, and that was really, I think it was fun for him and the other students to see him as a senior working with them on the Makey-Makeys, which are just little computer boards that they control like a mouse that plugs into your computer. You plug the Makey-Makey in, and there are leads that come off of that, and you can plug those into anything that's conductive, and it acts like the key is being clicked. So the arrow keys and the mouse click, so they could make a little game controller out of Play-Doh on their desktop, and then they could play a game. They also, actually, Applegarth had them using that as a keyboard. So students could hold on to the leads, and because we're sort of conductive, another student could tap their hands and play the keyboard by playing their friends. They could be in we had made a chain of about 10 people, and one person was holding over here, and the other person tapped the person at the end, and it was playing the keyboard. They had a lot of fun exploring that. So I want to thank Brandon for helping out last few weeks. It was great to have him, and we had some fun. So.
Is the downturn in engagement with Schoology concerning, or is that just sort of coming out of COVID? Because that one seems pretty consistent across all the metrics.
Schoology, we went down, actually went up to 28,000.
If you look at the first column is the most current, right?
No, sorry, I'm on the narrative side, the software review.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
yes.
Oh.
So this is typical monthly numbers. It's down about 600. That's in assignments. Yeah. So I think
but each category is down.
Yeah. So correct, it is down. And I think that is teachers getting sort of almost back into more paper assignments, handing things out, and just doing that. So I think that may be part of it. And it may be the way that and parent logins, student logins, teacher logins. Yeah, I think it's just they're doing more with paper. Yeah.
Hard to say that word, isn't it?
Yeah, I have a hard time with it.
Paper. Just it caught a little bit, yeah. Thanks. And now to you. You're up.
All right, so spring sports, we are winding down. My girls and boys softball and baseball are still going. They'll go through the middle of June, or their second week of June. The Mod boys unfortunately only have 7 players, so we have made those all scrimmages, but we are giving them the opportunity to play. So the teams will come to us or we go to them and they loan us a couple players, but then that gives them the opportunity to play as well that they might not have gotten. So we are scrimmaging all of those. Mod girls they have a full team and are playing and doing well. Mod track, I think, has 2 more meets left. And then JV softball and baseball ended last week or the week before. So yesterday, varsity softball won the first round of sectionals, 6-2. And they'll play the second round on Tuesday at Edison. And then baseball plays tomorrow for their first round. Track IACs are going on right now. I was up there for a little bit tonight. Kids were doing really well last night. They set a ton of PRs, so that was really exciting. Let's see. Jacob Banks and Taylor Brock today were in the top 20 for golf. So they'll go on Saturday and have to be in the top 9 of that one to go to states. So hopefully that'll be a good day on Saturday. And then they have Class Ds on, it's either Monday or Tuesday. I don't have to go day by day to figure out what's what, but. And then we got notice yesterday that Jacob Banks so ESPN Ithaca Night of Champions. So I don't know how to describe them, but they recognize kids all year long. And Jacob Banks will be recognized as a boys soccer athlete of the year. Oh. And Kim White and Kyle Holmes will be the cross country coaches of the year for the boys and girls. And they'll be recognized on June 11th, so that's pretty cool. Okay, flag football has come up, has a request from 21 girls. Kind of did a little petition asking me to start that in the spring, and that is an up and coming sport. So I'm just putting that on your radar that we may be looking at that in the future. They would like to do it next year. I'm not sure we're ready to do a team yet, and I don't want to start a team and possibly wipe out other programs if that were to happen. We just have to be careful because our numbers are low. That's why we merge our sports. So we might look at starting it as a club for the first couple years and see where it goes. And so they would have the opportunity to play the club as well as their spring sport that they choose as well.
Will we go let them play on their flag? Or
You're not asking me to do another merge.
Removing that from the.
Well, you have to go that route, right? Because the IACs won't let them play.
So right now yes. So at my next IAC meeting, I will be talking to them to see if there's other IAC teams that would do a club. And then we'd have teams to play. Right now, I think there's 3 other IAC teams that might be starting, but they might be starting as a club. So it's really in the infancy of it.
Can a club play a team?
Because
They can't go to championships.
But they could have a season. They could play team stuff like that.
No, it's okay. But the other athletic conferences will let them play 2 sports. Whereas IAC
Correct.
will
The
not.
IAC is the only one that doesn't have the dual participation.
So
Because it will probably
Can that be
kill
discussed?
softball, right? It's softball or football.
We had talked about that. I mean, some of those were track girls, some were softball, and then a bunch have not played anything. So it's interesting to whether, I don't know, we'll see. So that's why we thought if we started out as a club, not to anything. And then I also have a request for winter or indoor track, which I think is a club already. But they want to get that up and going again because it's been slower through COVID and all that. So lots going on. Is there anything I need to say about the steering committee right now? Yes, thank you. That's attached to my paper. So we got the Award of Excellence for exemplary display of sportsmanship, ethics, and integrity. So every school is asked to apply for that to the state. So I submitted information about what we do here, how we represent ourselves, and I think we've done an exceptional job this year. And we've got a certificate, so that was nice to get. Do we need to talk about the mergers now? We're good? That was already approved and we're pulled out the cross country, so we can talk more later.
is, sort of revisiting the whole flag football, is there a form, is there opportunity to talk to the IECs or whoever needs to be talked about the dual participation
So that was a thing already this year and it got voted down.
resoundingly or close?
I would say more resoundingly than close.
Okay.
We really wanted to do that. And they left the stack, or two stacks, so they're,
So did that affect IEC at all? Like,
it will, like, playing wise, but we
We just
released
lost a
it.
competitive school.
That has a lot of sports.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
Are you getting a lot of interest in the mascot design? I see you have the committee coming out, but
Yes, I have 30-ish.
Cool.
So next week I'll have them up around the room so we can look at them. And I would like, I haven't said this to the mascot committee yet, but what I'd like to do is let everybody on the mascot committee vote, but then leave it open for the kids too, so they can come around and see it and get their take on it too. But, they're, about 30 varying pictures, I don't know how to describe them, designs. So,
Awesome. And then the transportation.
transportation.
Oh, sorry, switch hats.
I forget. We have buses. The buses arrived finally. They were due in July and they did show up, last week.
It's almost July.
It's almost July. We have, well, with the budget, we've got approved for our new one, so that's exciting. He's, I know, been working on the summer runs and I think she has to this year break it up by week. So drivers will sign up by the week basically, because they don't want to go all summer long. So she's trying to juggle it because we've got here for 4 weeks, right? And then we've got BOCES runs that are the 6 weeks. So she's trying to finagle how she's gonna do that and have enough drivers the whole time. So that's a challenge, but she's pulling it off. She's doing it. We also had an intern for the last few weeks. Dylan McFall worked with Rob, working on our buses, and he was so excited to be there. Katie said today he was covered in oil, and they had done an oil change, and he was just so excited to be in the oil. So, but he did a great job too, so. I think that's about
Do
it.
those continue to the end of the year, or is it just the 3 weeks?
for me, it was just.
It was just 3. I think he's looking to extend it, I think, but, it is only for 3 weeks. I think they go back to class at the beginning, so I don't know that it'll really happen. I think it's just to get them out doing kind of their student teaching.
Awesome. Ms. Kim, we're up to you.
All right, let's see, so on the front page, the Mid-State Regional Partnership, I know I've mentioned them a couple of times, but I thought it might be helpful for you to know exactly who they are. So the RPC, the Regional Partnership Center, supports the State Office of Special Education, and their primary focus is to create systematic change around success rates for students with disabilities. So they've been working with us, I think we started in January, and we had worked with them when Angie was still director, and we thought it was for 1 year. And then we were contacted, I think it was October of this year, and they said, no, we were still on the list for support. And I have to say the group, it's a great group. Previous representatives or contracts that worked with the Office of Special Education, I can't say the same for. A few years back, we, had somebody come in and it just kind of fell flat. This group, I'm hopeful. It would be great to be off the list, but I don't want to lose their support. So we talked about that last month when they were here. But anyway, that's who they are. And what have they been doing with us? In the report, I referenced the special class reading teachers that the RPC is working with. And when we implemented the Phonics for Reading program RPC, when they started, their focus was on explicit direct instruction, and the program we had chosen fit. And so then their next step was, okay, how can they help us implement a really strong progress monitoring tool, and then be able to implement really intensive interventions. So that's been their job, and then they're here once a month, and they help us run data meetings. But I have to say, so there are two individuals that have been down, Jill Scatina and Madeline Manheim. One's a literacy specialist, the other is a special ed specialist. And every month they come in and they're pleased with our teachers. They said, our teachers come in, they have all of their data sheets, they're ready to sit down, they're ready to talk, discuss what they need to do next. And they said that's just been really refreshing. So that's the work that they've helped us with. Next month, I hope I have the opportunity, the teachers would like to be here and share some of the student data. So what they've been working on specifically, right from kindergarten up through 12th grade, letter naming fluency, letter sound fluency, and word reading fluency. So we have specific data, but the hope is they'll meet again this coming Monday for a data meeting, and then in June, they'll be here to share some of the data and the success that the students have found. Let's see. Summer professional development opportunities, I just shared the list of topics that we're going to be providing. And so far, we have 54 teachers registered. And then in addition to the bulleted items above, we've so far received 20 curriculum work proposals by either individual teachers or departments or grade levels. Those proposals, the registration's open through May 26th. And at that point, Wayne, Pete, and I will sit and go through all of the proposals just like we did last year. And just to make sure that, one, are they aligned to our priorities for the district? And even last year, we sent, I think, 2 back just to say we need more clarification, and just to make sure that it's aligned with what we're trying to do. It's also helpful because then we can see the different individuals that are doing work and even connect them to say, just so you know, this other grade level is doing something similar in case they didn't. New York State testing, I just put that on there because I probably feel guilty that I was not really a part of any of it and didn't support in any way. Yeah, they did it all, and I just want to say thank you because it's a big responsibility, and I'm just thankful that everybody took that on and did such a great job, including the special ed teachers, like helping get the list together. And then on the back, I wanted to highlight, so I'll keep putting this on as our updates, like what are we doing to address what we've identified as our priorities. And I know Wayne's not here, but I wanted to highlight the 7th grade data team. Wayne we have one of our social workers, 2 teachers, Eva, myself, Lisa Hale, our school psychologist, Wayne, really digging in and having some really good conversations around trying to figure out what's that root cause, what's going on with that 7th grade. We started with the failing 2 or more list, and now we've identified, or they have, they've been doing the work, that there is a strong correlation, obviously, with attendance or absenteeism. And that's where the conversation last week, what's our next step? How do we dig a little deeper to find out what the real problem is? And then jumping down to the curriculum councils, we met earlier this afternoon from 3:30 to 5. I think we had about 22 people here, and it's exciting, Matt. I know Matt was here, Brent stopped up, Wayne, but to see the teachers given the opportunity to just do some really important work, and the conversations and being able to cross content, have those conversations and see, okay, how are we moving forward and what are our next steps? And sometimes I think we all get a little impatient, like we want to be there already, but just knowing and having a plan. They've been doing great work. And the last item is the MTSS. Right now, we're evaluating our current structure and identifying what's working, where do we need to improve, where are the tweaks. And I think we're moving forward on that. That's it, unless anybody has any questions.
Do you know how summer school enrollment is looking? No idea?
I do not, Matt.
We have 146 right now enrolled.
Heck yeah.
I just asked her today, that's how I know.
Okay, wow. I don't know. Chris just asked if it was similar to last year.
150 something last year, so around the same.
Right, but we still have more time.
Yeah.
That's great, cool, thank you. Ms. Chris, we have a budget.
Yeah.
Yay, we have buses.
Yes.
Buses that they voted on last year just came in. And we ordered new buses, so, all the buses. And we're kind of wrapping up the year. It never slows down in the business office. We've been working on, training for our new, the shift to the automated requisitioning process, and that went really well. We're excited about that. We have a lot of reporting. Our auditors will be here for some pre-work in a few weeks. It seems like that just happened, they were just here. And then we kind of roll from 22, 23 into 23, 24. So it's all kind of happening. We're also in the middle of the ARP and ESSER funds targeted review. I know I've mentioned that a few times as we go. I think we've scanned about 250 documents so far to send up into the portal of information that they're collecting. So right now it's just that collection phase. They want to know all the things about all the separate grants and how the spending has been going, along with where are the original applications posted on the website and back to our reopening plans, and they're just, collecting all kinds of information. Then we have a virtual meeting that will be scheduled sometime later in the summer, and then kind of go through the process until, we've met all of their requirements. So right now, again, until it's about a 6-week period, we had to just send out all kinds of evidence of our, from the initial writing of the grants to the administration of the grants, how we've spent those funds, how we've amended the spending of those funds, and in some cases with the learning loss or some of those more targeted expenditures, what the outcomes have been, or how we'll know what those outcomes are. So it's kind of a big review that's going on there. My banking, our money's making money right now. So that those night class, especially that night class fund has been pretty favorable rate there for us. And we're going to continue to put as much as we can. This time of year, we have a bunch of big bills to pay. So we'll see our cash go down at this point until we start collecting taxes again in the fall. So it is that down period. Somewhere in your thick packet there, you have a copy of a draft. We're starting to work, or have been working on purchasing procedures for the office, so getting things in writing. So what you have is just, it's a draft at this point. It'll be a working document as we kind of go through and evaluate different processes and get things written down. It's really a summary of, a lot of the general municipal law, the comptroller's, commissioner's regulations, the education law, and it's kind of a technical manual that also has some specific kind of requirements for purchasing in candor. And again, we're creating documents to add to our purchasing process as we kind of look at those different pieces and put everything together. So you have a copy. Again, it's going to grow. And you'll also see next month something similar with our payroll processes. Okay. Always lots going on.
Thanks, Chris.
You have I'm just looking at formal written quotes from 3 separate vendors must be attached to the purchase requisition. What if there aren't 3 people that provide that or
We have to
interested in
do,
that?
we have to do the best we can. So sometimes there are only, and Kat and I were just talking about the bidding for paper today. She only gets 2 responses to that when she sends out, the bid. So we have to do the best we can
Yeah.
to meet the requirement depending on those thresholds. Sometimes we're going to send out a lot of requests and get nothing back. Sometimes we could get quotes for days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you document the
Just
request that you
request,
sent
right.
out and then it shows
Yeah.
you've done
Yeah.
your part. Cool, thanks. Thanks. And then we have Mike's log. Thank you, Mike,
That's where your paper goes.
for all of your. What's it? Yeah,
Paper goes.
that's true. He does good work, it isn't entertaining to read.
Unless you're a network,
Okay.
What's that?
unless you're a network administrator, right?
Is it thrilling?
Maybe. I don't.
Tell him to put in a fake report.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really pretty inside, see if anybody reads it right.
Test us. Test these guys.
Sorry, you're up.
Yeah, no, that's good. So I want to start by just thanking again the board and everybody in the community for supporting our budget. Everyone who came out and voted. And I'm really very happy with the whole community, but the whole administrative team really worked hard to put that budget together all year long. The budget committee was there to help us, and I'm glad it passed, of course. And I want to take a moment and give a special thanks to Chris Pierce, who I'm amazed at how detail oriented she is and how much she helped, and then how much other things she was doing at the same time, like putting together the purchasing manual, which again was a lot of time and very thorough. But real team effort. I'm thrilled about the budget. I want to congratulate Nate Brace and Greg Howe, and thank you for joining us on the board. And also a huge congratulations to the Candor Public Library. I'm glad they got what they need to keep operating. They're a great resource for our community. Didn't go through this question. Okay, but with the capital project, again, the stairs you can see are just about completed with King and King Architects in Bolin. I want to thank Jim Wintermute. I know he's been going out every day checking on them. And then also thank our facilities committee members. I appreciate that they're here and looking and helping us shepherd this through. I and Jim and even with the administrative staff, we probably don't have enough eyes to catch everything. But with that, we have well-informed community members who will pay attention and give us a heads up or ask questions. Will make the whole thing go so much smoother. The stairs is relatively simple and straightforward. When we get into all the work being done, I appreciate the phone calls, emails, and any support we can get. But it's going well. And then the last note, I want to thank the board for accepting my recommendation.
Oh my God.
I mean, some people are happy. No, take a drink of water, slow down. Recommendation. Yeah, I can hear my mom telling me to enunciate. She did from the time I was 4. Right. Slow down, enunciate your words.
Can't do that to
Okay,
old
Mom.
people.
So, I want to thank the board for accepting my recommendation for Mr. Ahart's tenure. And I know there are at least a couple board members there at the end that might have some good reasons not to vote for that. They've known him a long time. But from my perspective, he's a fantastic member of our team. I mean, he goes above and beyond everything as he saw in my recommendation. Just has a good sense of right and wrong and fair play, and is smart, detailed, and has helped the whole team. And I want to thank him for all the help he's given me in my first and second year on the team. So thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Thanks. So are there any board comments in general?
I would make one,
What you got?
myself, and the youngsters sitting here. I had the privilege to sit in on the evaluations for senior seminar presentations. And there was this other guy there, you might remember him, Mike Blake. He was evaluating too. And I can report that Mike is still Mike. But it was kind of nice because I've been involved with the evaluation of the presentations since we started having evaluators listen and watch the kids. And very impressive. The kids, you can see the program is definitely working. And I know Wayne wants to, at some point in the future, make it a requirement for all seniors, but right now, it's a college level course. So the kids will get their college credit for that through TC3. The kids were just fantastic. They handle the electronics well, which is one of the things I was kind of watching because past experience has shown even the electronics that I used back in the day didn't faze the kids. If something hiccuped, they messed around with the remote. Matt was in the back of the room. Didn't have to get him involved unless he was doing something back there behind the scenes, but I didn't think so. The kids handled the visuals well. They presented well. They were organized, and they chose some very current topics to present on. I was pleased to see that we got some thinking kids graduating now. You can see that from what they're doing. And I just hope the program continues to grow. Meredith has done a good job leading that and teaching the kids. And the administration support, to make sure there's a handful of people in there to evaluate and listen to the presentations. And I think myself and my partner in crime over there look forward to coming back next year, assuming we're still here.
Like on the board or?
No, you don't have to be on the board.
Are we starting like a pool or?
Yes. I'm gonna be put in an urn, so they won't be able to throw things at me. Maybe the urn.
It's such a cheerful
Yes, it's got dark fast.
Have a safe trip home, right?
I think if you're in the urn, it doesn't matter, right?
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
Congrats.
Thank you, Brad, for-
So nice today, Pete.
It's every day.
I don't think there are any further comments. Enjoy your long Memorial Day weekend, everybody, and thank you for all you are doing and continue to do. 8:01. We do need another exec, so you're not on.
Oh, right.
Sorry, Mrs. Nicholson.
You have to move or